Welcome to Think and Grow Rich with Life Mastery Consultant Christi Corradi.
This series has 7 lessons based on the book by Napoleon Hill called Think and Grow Rich. We embark on a transformative journey through the principles outlined in Napoleon Hill's seminal work. We'll delve deeply into the core concepts in Think and Grow Rich, offering insights and practical applications for personal and professional growth. Join us as we explore the profound wisdom within these pages and discover how to align our desires with our highest potential. Here's Lesson 1 of Think and Grow Rich.
Today we're going to start moving into Think and Grow Rich. And also I want to remind you that this is a deeper dive into this work, and so regardless of the material we're studying, I think one of the things that we find is the material we're studying is what takes us right to where we're at that moment. It seems all serendipitous in that way. Let's start with our gratitudes and proud ofs. And today I'm grateful for the degree of health of my parents and family. And I'm proud of my coaching, and had a great call with a client yesterday, and I'm proud of what I'm able to be a channel for in supporting people in their greater expression of life. There's a couple of things that I wanted to point out. The purpose of this chapter is desire, and looking at the concept of desire in regard to what lives within us. And one of the things that it doesn't say in here yet that I feel about desire is that desire is that in us that is wanting to express by means of us. That desire is really unique and specific to each one of us. And Rumi said that you can do 1,000 things, and if you don't do that thing that is your purpose, it's like you did nothing. And I really believe that each one of us has, we don't know how it outpictures, but each one of us has our own specific gift or desire or that to bring to the world. And so what I feel that this is touching on, and I like they call it definite desire. There can be all kinds of ideas or excitement come up around different projects or different things to do in the world, but that definite desire, that's something that you commit to, that burning desire, that's the other phrase that comes up a lot, is that burning desire. And when there's a burning desire, it pulls us to that outpicturing of that desire. And at the same time, I know for me at least, I still, even though I have a burning desire for something, I still sometimes feel stuck, or that I get like a lazy feeling, like, oh, it's just easier not to follow that burning desire, or that's so much work to follow that burning desire. And what I've taken a look at in this deeper dive that I've been taking in my own personal life is that is my past paradigms. That's my limiting beliefs and my Delilahs. It's seducing me to say, life is so much easier if you just accept right where you're at, and that's good enough. And so I've taken it as a gift when I moved to that place. So I've taken desire and used desire as a tool to help me unravel my limiting beliefs. Now, one of the places that all of us are getting to or are at is not having to go back and look at the past beliefs and say, oh, that was when my mother said this to me, or that was when such and such happened. All we need to do right now, and that's why I love this idea of searching using the burning desire. When I start to feel stuck, I go, oh, I'm feeling stuck now. That's a limiting belief or something that's holding me back, or a Delilah. I don't have to name it, what it is exactly. I just get to, like the cassette tape, record right over it with the new belief system. And I've been listening to some other teachers, and I just loved this. Her first name is Dawn, but she actually calls them fractures, like fractures in our, I don't know, in our person, in our being. It's more a metaphysical kind of place. And one of the things that I love that she said that helps me come back to my burning desire, she called them the three purposes, for you, for others, and for the world. And so it's like, what a joy and gratefulness to be able to give to myself, give to others, and give to the world. And to take the vision that we have, like this was really appealing to the entrepreneur, the businessman, the let's make money. And that's great because money, we know money is just a vehicle for a greater expression of giving our gift in the world. And so sometimes I think when people read this, they get to, but this is all about money. What I want is to give my gift in the world. Through money, all of these people, you know, to bring the automobile for us to use, this was a gift to the world. And it was money as a vehicle that allowed him, Ford, to do that and to have the freedom to be creative enough to push forward and say, no, I want this created. I see it. I believe it. I can see it in my mind. I know it can be true. And so for me, when I hit upon that place where my desire rubs up against my limiting belief of myself, I come back to my burning desire by saying, I want to give my gift to the world, to others, to myself. I want to be that creative expression that the divine has put me here. So that's an energy level, that's a frequency level. Do you feel that? Does that resonate? What are your thoughts around the concept of desire? Here it says, burn the ships and cut all sources of retreat. As you move for this burning desire, you will not fear moving forward because you cut off everything that allows you to retreat, right? So that's like this deeper faith, which is what we're going to move into in the next chapter. So we have a couple of tools for that. Okay, one is that we have when we can really sit down and get still and listen to that inner voice, we have guidance. But I love that we have our 5-point test. Does it give me life? Does it align with my core values? Is there good in it for others? Does it cause me to grow? Do I need a higher power? Does it align with my core values? I think that can always bring us around. Like Edison, I don't know what his family life was like. I don't even know if he was married or not. That might have been his way of doing life and being on purpose. And there are people that get obsessive at the demise of their family. I think if they really sat down and asked about their core values, if their core value is to bring the light bulb into being for the greater experience of life, maybe that does mean he sacrifices having a great family life. We don't know. I don't know. I do know Bill Gates, however. My brother worked with him directly, and he had a very balanced life in that they had their family time, they had their boundaries around work, they had even around their philanthropic work, that their family structure was primary. Now, did he have that when he was younger? No, because he actually didn't get married until later in life. His wife was actually a friend of my brother's and his wife, and was over for dinner with her previous boyfriend. They were married and had their kids, so they were kind of late bloomers. So did that allow him to be in his passion and his drive to create this? Yes. But did he look at his core values? I don't know him personally. My brother knows him. That was always a core value of his, and for his workers, for the people that worked for him, that family time was important to him. Now, did my brother sacrifice? He retired at the age of 37 from Microsoft, and he said he did that because he did sacrifice being with his children a lot when they were younger, and he wanted to make sure he had that time with his children. Now, was he a neglectful dad? Not at all. But he really saw that focus, and because of the ability to have the freedom to be creative enough through the earning of a great amount of money and to be free to then give his children this type of life. And we want to pay attention always, I think, that question, does it give me life? And when we look at like a burning desire, we can ask, what are the bridges that I need to burn behind me? Now, the bridges that I burn behind me doesn't mean I give up my support of my family or time with my family. In fact, what does the family structure do? It can support us in our greater becoming. So it's always looking at a balance. And one of the things is our burning desire would never require us to step outside of our core values. See, if, just to make up a story, I have no idea of Edison's personal life, but if his family life, if he didn't have one, his core value would not have family life as a core value. It would be serving the world through bringing the invention of the light bulb. One example of things that you sacrifice is, does this take me into low-level thinking? Maybe there's a person that always speaks negative about such things that you're involved with. Mm-hmm. Do I need to sacrifice that relationship in order to keep my vibrational level at a level of creativity? Those will be the only kind of things that you will be asked to sacrifice, is things that keep you in a high-level vibration, because your core value will also be in a high-level vibration. This is how you weigh this out. You look at the vibrational frequency of, this is my mother-in-law. She is an integral part of my daughter's life. She is my husband's mother. This is a very important role that she plays. So you measure that in her vibrational level. Now, she, as a person on this human form, happens to have thinking and thought processes that are low-level thinking processes. So your practice here is to remember this other deeper truth. This is a truth versus a fact moment here. And you get to make choices, not always about whether you're around that situation, because you have to weigh out the higher vibrational function of who she is and what she represents in your life, in your daughter's life. And you get to choose times that you're with her and not with her, but not always. And so you focus on that higher vibrational truth of who and what she represents. And when you can't step outside of that relationship, you hold firm to your own truth. Eleanor Roosevelt said, all the water in the world can't drown you unless you let it get in you. And that's just your practice with your mother-in-law. And just like I took the idea of desire when it bumps up against my paradigms and went, I love this practice, that it reminds me of my paradigms, you get to love your mother-in-law for who she reminds you to be. My guess is she will shift. And I know you say you've been around her a long time and she hasn't shifted before, but you are a different person today. She has to shift. Remember that our outpicturing of our thoughts create an influence on the energy around us. You raise your vibrational frequency. It may take a while, just like a habit takes 90 days to change, and we have to stay in it. You know, that's the other thing that comes up in this whole work. It's rigor. It is rigor. It's rigorous to keep our thoughts moving to the higher vibrational spots no matter where we're at. Think about the plane crash of Malaysia. Where are your thoughts as you hear that? Yes, we go into sadness, we go into anger, we go into whatever it is. It's like, where do you want to be in this moment with your thoughts? You can still hold that fact, this shouldn't have happened, and we move to a higher, greater truth. in all of our thinking. And that to me is what I think is, you know how he talks about there's a secret in here, there's a secret in here, watch for the secret. I don't think it's these 13 steps. I think it is the practice of being in that high vibrational frequency. And that takes work until we get it. You know, it's just like learning to ride a bike. You fall, you skin your knee, you go through all of those stages, and then all of a sudden, you're riding a bike like nobody's business. And once you ride a bike, nobody can take that away from you. So to look at a thermometer again, to use the image of a thermometer, once we really get a level of vibration on that thermometer, we may slip out a little bit. You know, we all hit rocks when we're riding a bike and we fall off the bike. But in general, we can keep our balance at that vibrational frequency. And so that's why we're in this work, is that no matter what conditions and circumstances, and the other thing that I know is that I know you will navigate this at that level, at a greater level. In fact, this will be part of what propels you into that greater vibrational frequency. Would we want it to have happened this way? No, absolutely not. But do you want to glean the gifts from it? Yes, absolutely, in time. This is a process. It's not instantaneous. And she doesn't have the luxury or the gift of this awareness. And my guess is that she is dwelling in circumstances. And that's a sad place to be. Say the label of the cassette tape says, lack and limitation. And then you record right over it, success, expression of my gift, and you write that on the label. Now, if you write that on the label and you don't record over it, see, this is what happens. This is what I really got the other day when this woman I was listening to, so she calls them glimpsing, because the underlying broadcast is still stuck. So, you know, what we do often is we put the label on the cassette tape saying empowerment, success, but the recording on the tape is still the same, or portions of it. And this is the rigor. Okay, this is the work. We have to record over that with the replacement thought and think it every moment we slip into the doubt. Every time fear raises its head. And see, the thing is, what I love about that fear came up today is that we don't always know what's holding us back. And once we are aware, oh, it's my fear, here's my fear, you'll now notice it. You'll now notice, oh, this is fear holding me back. Great, I have a new recording. Excuse me, I interrupt this broadcast for a message from my soul. I am a divine child of God, and I deserve to have it all. And why do I deserve to have it all? Because I'm breathing. I don't have to earn it. I only have to become it. So what do we do with fear? Like, first of all, knowing it's fear is our first step, right? And then what do we get to do with fear? Befriend it. And how do you befriend it? You turn your fear. So right now, your fear is your friend, because all of a sudden you have an awareness, or I have an awareness, you might have had this awareness already, that this is what's holding you back. It's like, oh, great, since you're holding me back, let me make you my friend, and then when you're my friend, you can't hold me back anymore. So what is it that you fear? What is the fear? This week, there is the formula in the book here. And what I really loved about jumping into this is that it's got a little different spin on it than our vision. It's basically creating a vision. Now, I like to say, fix your mind on the exact amount of money you desire. Okay, this is what this book, it's just like you have a recipe on how to cook. This is a recipe on how to create more finances. Now, you can transpose this. It doesn't need to be the focus on the money, other than the money allows you the creativity. So here's the fix your exact amount of money you desire. And we already know this. It's not sufficient to merely say, I want plenty of money. Be definite about the amount. We know that if you ask somebody to build you a beautiful house, without giving them your instructions, it will be a beautiful house, but will it match your equivalency? Now, I think this is a little bit backwards here, but let me keep going. And we want to do this homework here. This is kind of our homework, these 6 steps. Next step, determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money you desire. So what do you think about that? What are you going to give? I'm going to give you a little clue here. One of the things that you're going to give is good care for your daughter. Not, I'm going to give a product in exchange for this. See, that's where I think this feels a little backwards. But I loved it when I stumbled upon it for this very reason. I'm giving good care for my family, for myself, and I'm putting my own face mask on first so that I can care for my daughter. So $2,000 to provide the gift you're going to give in return for this is, yes, teaching yoga and serving others. And that's why I like this woman's formula of you, others, and the world. So we can think of it as what will we give to ourselves, what will we give to others, and what will we give to the world. So this is kind of your homework assignment here. And see that caring for yourself is something you are giving in return for this income. And there's more pieces to it. There's teaching the yoga, on and on, whatever. And this will manifest. It will absolutely show up and manifest. You don't even need to know how. You just need to hold on to what you give in return for this. In exchange for this gift that you're going to give to the world, see, that's another thing. How does it feel when I say, when you give this gift to the world, how do you feel? Now, that is a portion of it. The other portion is of taking care of being with your family, having quality time with your husband, your family, with your friends, all of that. What's your annual or monthly income? This comes back to what Wallace Waddell says about do what you're doing right now, knowing that it'll take you in the direction that you want, that you are intending to go. So that's step 2. So number 3, establish a date when you intend to possess the money you desire. Number 4, create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once, whether you are ready or not, to put the action in plan. We want to have a plan. And it can have flexibility into it. If this is your job, what is the step that you take? This is how I would change number 4. What's a step I can take today to move in the direction of that? You can do what's a step I can take in 1 month. You can do what's a step I can take in 6 months. I don't think you have to have a plan to say, I'm going to go to work for this organization. But you do want to have steps in the direction. And this is where, come back to putting anything in your vision, is you just want to make sure that you can ask that question, what's a step I can take today to move in the direction of that vision? And you want to have any vision in there so that you don't turn around and step backwards. So it's like knowing that this is what this money is providing me the freedom of, and I'm giving the gift of caring for my family. What is a step I can take today? So this number 5 is just outlining everything. Write out a clear, concise statement about the amount of money you intend to acquire. Name the time limit for its acquisition. State what you intend to give in return, and then read this twice daily. So this is your vision statement. Your vision statement is an in-the-moment vision statement. It is like, next 6 months, I need to be generating $2,000 a month to support my family. Does that come through my yoga teaching? No. I don't need to limit it to that thin little eye of the needle. I just get to know that it's all opportunities. It's a great time to rewrite or write a shorter-term vision right now.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. Here are 2 exclusive podcast listener offers. First, for a limited time, podcast listeners can work with Christi in person at a deep discount. Christi offers a unique coaching modality of her own creation that helps clients discover their own answers to where they're stuck and how to move forward. As one of her clients puts it always works. This transformative process is designed to help you identify blocks and create breakthroughs in your personal and professional life. As a thank you for listening to the podcast, you're eligible for a special discount. Normally $97 for a half-hour introductory session, podcast listeners get a $70 discount automatically applied if you use this link, masteringtheartoflife.com/podcast-IWD-offer. That's masteringtheartoflife.com/podcast-IWD-offer. And that link is in the podcast general description as well. Second, you can get the entire library of Mastering the Art of Life with PDF notes and worksheets for each lesson, plus bonuses at no cost at masteringtheartoflife.com/9-month opt-in, all one word, masteringtheartoflife.com/9-month opt-in. That link is also in the general podcast description.